In this video, we're going to look at how we multiply and divide fractions, so it's going to be a little bit of a review. When we multiply fractions, keep in mind I do not need a common denominator, okay, but there's two methods to go about solving it. Okay, basically one method is just to multiply across the top, and I get 6. Multiply across the bottom, 3 times 7 is 21, so I get 6 over 21. And then just remember I need to reduce. So they're both divisible by 3, so I end up with an answer of 2/7. To avoid having to reduce at the end and the numbers getting at times substantially larger, one way is to reduce beforehand, to go on the diagonal, to recognize that 3 and 6 are both divisible by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then use these new numbers then to multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 7 is going to give me 7. You'll notice both answers are the same, but usually if you can simplify beforehand, it simplifies things a little bit more. When I'm dealing with mixed numbers, so in the case of 1 and 2/3 times 4 and 1/5, okay? You must change these to improper fractions. There is no other way of doing this without getting much more complicated. So I change these into improper fractions. Okay. At this point, I can go ahead and simplify. 5 and 5 are both divisible by 5. Okay. So that's as simple as I can get. 3 and 21 are both divisible by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 21 divided by 3 is 7. So I can tell right away my answer is going to be 7 without having to multiply 21 times 5. So that's the simplest way of doing it. When I look at dividing fractions, basically you're going to use the keep, change, flip rule, and then you multiply. Okay. So when I'm dividing fractions, it's really the same rules as multiplication, complete with changing mixed numbers into improper fractions. But in the case of if I gave you something like 2/7 divided by 8 over 21, okay, you're going to keep the first fraction as 2/7. You're going to take the division, change it to multiplication, and then you're going to flip the last fraction. So the 8/21 becomes 21 over 8. This is what's called taking the reciprocal. So anytime you see reciprocal, it basically means flip. And then you're going to multiply. So I'm going to simplify. 2 divided by 2 is 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 7 and 21. Okay, 21 times 7 is 3. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 7 divided by 7 is 1. So my answer ends up being 3/4. Okay, and that's basically how you go about dividing fractions. So it's really multiplication with this golden rule of keep, change, flip. Okay, so basically, remember, you do not need to worry about getting a common denominator. Mixed numbers have to go into improper fractions. This is for multiplication and division. Okay. The rules for integers apply. So basically, if I have a positive number times a positive number or divided by, okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to end up with a positive. A positive divided by or multiplied by a negative is going to be a negative. A negative divided by or multiplied by a positive is going to give me a negative. And a negative divided by or times a negative is always going to give me a positive. So same sign is going to be positive, different signs is going to be negative. The other thing to remember when dividing, you need to make sure you use the keep, change, flip rule. Okay, good luck.